Good morning, students. In yesterday's class, I guess we were discussing about second problem on portfolio evaluation, that is on calculation of Sharpe ratio and trainers. Okay. So as far as this table is concerned, we are given with the securities for all the 10 years and we need to calculate the portfolio return for all the 10 years that we have done it here. RP divided by N, that is sum of all these returns over a period of 10 years divided by N. The same goes with beta. For all the years divided by 10, we get 1.194. Okay. And with regard to return on government securities, which is RF, sum of all the returns on risk-free rate of return divided by N, we get 5.45. Okay. So now after this, we had to, as per the formula, we are having RP minus RF, that is 16.89 minus 5.4y, I'm sorry, 5.45. Now we need standard deviation of the portfolio that we need to calculate, and that we have to put that into the formula, that is n into summation x square minus summation x square divided by n square, and we have to take the root. So with this we get the standard deviation. Okay, so we are taking return on the mutual funds. Okay, and I have told why, what is the reason that we are taking the returns of the mutual fund in yesterday's session. Now we have to square, as per this particular formula, we need summation x square. So we have to square all the returns on mutual fund for all the 10 years, and the summation of this is 3808. We have just rounded it off. N is 10. So 10 into 3808 minus summation x square, that is summation of all the returns for 10 years, that is 168.98, the whole square, divided by 10 into 10, that is 100. Okay, so after simplifying this, 38,000, that is 3808 into 10 is 38,080 minus 28,554, that is 168 into 98 the whole square, you can round it off to 169, divided by 100. So subtraction of this will give us the value of 95.26. So once you square root it, you will get standard deviation as 9.76. So this 9.76, we are going to use that for calculation of Sharpe ratio, because here we need the standard deviation of the portfolio, which includes systematic risk and unsystematic risk, and we get the value as 9.76. I'll just complete this and later on I will just tell why are we using the mutual fund return and not the market index return. Okay. So after this substitution, 16.89 minus 5.45 divided by 9.76, we get the value as 1.17. So this is the Sharpe ratio. Next, moving on to trainer, formula is same for the numerator, that is RP minus RF, but here we just have the beta. So beta of portfolio is already being calculated, that is 1.194. So the same we are going to substitute here. The numerator, these values will remain same. 16.89 minus 5.45 divided by 1.194. So you get the trainer ratio for mutual fund here is 9.58. As for Sharpe ratio, it is 1.17. Now moving on to that particular doubt as to why we have...
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, in the formula, why they have taken root for this problem in solution?
Which root?
Ma'am, Sharpe and trainer.
Okay, I'm sorry. I
RP
guess this is
minus
by mistake. Maybe it is by mistake. Just yeah, that is one change. Just check whether the values are same or the values are different, whether I have rooted it. I'll just check it. 16.89 minus 5.45 divided by 9.76, 1.17. This is by mistake. I have put the square root. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, good observation. By mistake, I have put the square root, but the value is correct. So even in case of trainer ratio, we have 16.89 minus 5.45 divided by 1.194, 9.58. So this is correct. So by mistake, I had put the square root there. Okay. Now we will move on to why we have taken return on market index, why we shouldn't take return on market index. Rather, we have taken return on mutual fund to calculate the standard deviation. Now, as far as this return on market index, if the question would have been, if I would have added here, compute or compare the mutual fund performance, okay? If I type the question here as compare, I request the students to join when the link is sent so that we do not have disturbance in between the class. If I write in the question as compare the mutual fund performance. Okay. Now in this case, you will have two calculations. One is I have told calculate the following risk adjusted measures for the mutual fund. Okay. And second question is compare the mutual fund performance for Sharpe. I take it as Sharpe and trainer again. Okay. Now what is the change here that we will notice? Okay. Now when it comes to risk adjusted return, we are using this particular formula RP minus RF divided by standard deviation of portfolio, and even for trainer we are using RP minus RF divided by beta of the portfolio. Okay, because it is risk adjusted return, we are going to focus more in case of return. Now when it comes to Sharpe ratio, we are focusing on the standard deviation. Okay, and we are more focused with that of risk adjusted returns. And in risk adjusted return for standard deviation of the portfolio, we are considering market risk as systematic risk as well as unsystematic risk. And when you're comparing this mutual fund performance, it is more subject towards the market risk. And the formula for Sharpe and trainer will slightly change whenever we are going to make the comparison of mutual fund performance. Then here we should have the portfolio returns. Okay, portfolio return subject to the market. It means it has to be RM. So here we need market returns, and here we need the standard deviation of the portfolio, but the standard deviation of the portfolio should be the return on market index. Okay, one is the returns of market as well as the risk of the market. These are the two things that we are going to compare when we are going to compare mutual fund performance, because mutual fund performance is more subject towards market risk and the returns is totally dependent on the market. If the market is performing well, then definitely you will have a good positive returns. And at the same time, if there is lot of market risk, okay, if the risk of the market is very high, then definitely it is going to affect your returns on the portfolio, which is more subject towards market. And that is the reason for this particular problem, we are just asked to calculate risk adjusted measure. And that risk adjusted measure, we are focusing on the return as well as the risk, but we are not focusing on market index. Market index is more relevant for those securities where the total returns is totally dependent on the market risk, and that is why we have to consider the return on market index as well as return of the portfolio which is subject to the market. And that is the reason for this calculation of risk adjusted measures as per Sharpe and Trainer, we are not considering return on market index, but rather we are considering the returns of mutual fund. Now this standard deviation is going to be normally that we used to calculate previously for the portfolio, like even in case of first unit, if you, I'm sorry, not first unit, in second unit when we are asked to calculate the risk or the return. So risk we are calculating in terms of standard deviation. So there we are taking the returns of various different securities. So that is the logic that we are applying here for calculating the risk adjusted return measures for the mutual fund under Sharpe and Trainer. If at all we have to compare mutual fund performance, then we need market returns as well as the market risk. And that is the reason we have taken the standard deviation of the returns for mutual fund. I hope if it is clear, I will move ahead. If anybody is having any doubt, you can put that into the chat box. Else we will move on to the third problem. So here there is one question. We don't require that fourth column value, then why they have given it in the sum? Is it to confuse us? If at all they would have added for comparison of mutual fund performance, then we need this fourth column of return on market index. Else we don't need it. When you're speaking of fourth column, it is not fourth column, it has to be third column. Fourth column is all about risk-free rate of return. This we need for calculation. RP minus RF. So RF is nothing but return on government securities, return on treasury bills. So all these are risk-free rate of returns. Okay. Now we will move on to the third problem on portfolio evaluation. The question goes like this. Santosh wants to decide between two mutual funds X and Y from the financial reports. He is able to calculate the average returns and the standard deviation for the funds. The current risk-free rate of interest is 7%. Using the Sharpe index, compare the performance of X and Y funds. So here clearly they have given all the required data for the formula. So first we have to write the formula for Sharpe performance index, that is RP minus RF divided by standard deviation. Values are already given as 21 and 16 for X and Y, and the returns are 19% and 17%, and we are given with the risk-free rate of return as 7%. So here they are asking us to compare the performance of X and Y funds. So we are going to choose that particular fund or that particular portfolio of security which has got highest return in terms of values in comparison with the other funds. Okay. So here the portfolio return for X is 19 minus 7 is risk-free rate of return which is given in the problem, divided by 21, that is the standard deviation. So we get the value as 0.571. For Y we have portfolio return as 17 minus 7 divided by standard deviation is 16. So that will give us the value 0.625. So when we are trying to compare here in between these two securities, when you can see the risk is comparatively less compared to that of security X. Okay. And the value is also comparatively more in comparison with that of X. Okay. So X is having a higher value because the risk is quite minimum. Okay. And the returns are also quite good when you're comparing for Sharpe ratio under security Y. So that was a simple problem where you have to, all the given data, you have to just put that into the formula. Now we will move on to the fourth question. With a 9% risk-free rate of return, the NSE Nifty portfolio is having an expected return of 21% and a standard deviation of 8%. Now, when we are speaking about NSE Nifty portfolio, it is all about market returns, okay? And that is why the market return is 21% and standard deviation is 8%. Now in the Y portfolio, the mean is 20% and the standard deviation is 12%. For the portfolio Z, return is 21% and standard deviation is 16%. Choose the best portfolio. Now all the data are given in the form of a sentences, or you can say in the form of a paragraph. So the best way where we can do is we can just form a particular table with the details of average returns, standard deviation as well as market return. So I have highlighted this because nowhere we are given with the details of security X, its average return and standard deviation. So this we are not going to consider it for calculation. So that is why I have highlighted it here, because all the details are only with regard to portfolio Y, portfolio Z, and we're given with the market return. So and as well as the risk-free rate of return. So these are all the details which are being given to us. Now here they have not asked whether it is going to be Sharpe or trainer. So if at all they have not specified, and they have just given here as choose the best portfolio. Now we are given with RP, we are given with RF. When you're given with standard deviation, it indirectly means that we have to calculate the Sharpe ratio. If at all they're given with beta value, it means we have to calculate trainer. So in this problem, they have not specified as to which ratio we are supposed to calculate, but with the given information, we will get a clear picture that we have to calculate Sharpe ratio. And we have to write the formula first for Sharpe ratio. Why are we using Sharpe? Because we are given with the standard deviation. If at all even beta column is also added, and if they tell us to choose a best portfolio, then we have to calculate Sharpe as well as we have to calculate for beta also. Okay, I'm sorry, for trainer, using the values of beta given in the problem. Okay, now for security X, I will not calculate because by mistake I have taken these values. That is not asked in the question with regard to the portfolio X and its values. Okay, so we will start with portfolio Y. The returns is 20%, that is RP. RF is 9%, divided by the standard deviation is 12. So we get the value as 0.92. Next we have for portfolio Z, 21 is the average return, risk-free rate of return is 9, divided by standard deviation is 16. So we get the value as 0.75. Now, as we are given with the market returns here, okay, we will just calculate it. If you want, you can slightly change the formula here, okay, because we are given with the market returns. Yes, that is what I'm saying. Though X column we should not consider. By mistake, I have taken these particular values, and that is why we are not, I have just highlighted this and I have not considered it for calculation. If you want, so we can just put that into the statements here. Nothing wrong in it, okay, if you want for calculation. But as it is not there in the above question here, I have just put it as highlighted. Or if you want, you can just frame a sentence like how we have in the X portfolio, the mean is 20% and the standard deviation is 12%. Okay, so in that way we can frame the sentence and you can take these values. Okay, and out of 3 we can choose the best portfolio. Okay, now with regard to market return, we are having 21% and standard deviation as 8%. Okay, now when we are going to calculate Sharpe here, now when it is subject to market return, this is going to be RM minus RF, then this is going to be standard deviation of M. Okay, so whenever we are going to calculate Sharpe ratio for market return, okay, then the formula This will be RM minus RF divided by standard deviation this is going to be market risk. Okay, this is what we have taken here. 21 minus 9 divided by 8, that will give us 1.5. Okay. So the question is asked us, choose the best portfolio. Okay. Now out of Y and Z, in case of Sharpe or it is in case of trainer, whichever value is highest, the value will be highest in comparison, the return will also be more and the risk is less. Then you will have a positive value or you will have a higher returns. Okay. But the same when you're comparing here, you're having return of 21, but the risk is 16. Here the risk is 12. Okay. That is why we are going to choose portfolio Y. Okay, out of Y and Z. I'll just put these values into the statement here so that you can use this value for calculation. And then even though when you're going to compare for all the three of X, Y, Z, we are going to choose portfolio Y itself because the value is comparatively high rather than that of X and Z. So the best portfolio is Y because it is giving us the highest returns. Okay. So if anybody is having any doubt, you can just put that into the chat box. Now we will move on to the next problem, fifth problem. The question goes like this. Following table provides the details about three portfolios. Find out the difference between the actual and expected return using Jensen index. On the basis of your calculation, rank them. Okay. Now always the ranking is going to be with that of the values which has got highest amongst the portfolios. Now here we have got the portfolios, that is we are having three portfolios. We are given with the market return here. Return on portfolio 15, 12, 18, and this is the return on market portfolio 11. We are having portfolio betas. We are having the risk-free rate of interest or risk-free rate of return. As I had already told you in the yesterday's session, you can use any of the three formulas that were discussed in yesterday's session. Whichever you feel comfortable, you can use it. And the most important in case of Jensen index that is not done in case of Sharpe or trainer is, in case of Jensen, there is a standard benchmark which is being fixed, and that is why we try to find out the difference. So the meeting will end in 10 minutes. And that is the reason we are taking the excess return over the actual. So actual is already being given in the problem in terms of return on portfolio, whereas expected return is all about the returns on capital asset pricing model. Okay. So now when we are using this particular formula, we are trying to calculate the expected return as per the capital asset pricing model, and then we will find the difference. Or you can either use these two formulas or you can use yesterday's formula which I have already discussed in the Word document slide. You can either use that or you can either use this. Both, all the three formulas will give you the same values. So first we are calculating the expected return. So this is the formula of capital asset pricing model. Okay. Now the risk-free rate of interest is 6 plus beta for portfolio 1 is 1.3 into market return is 11, the risk-free rate of return is 6. So with this you will get the expected return as per CAPM model. Okay. The same goes with the second portfolio, 6 plus 0.9 into 11 minus 6 is equal to 10.5, and the same for portfolio 3 is 6 plus 1.6 is the beta into 11 minus 6 will give you 14. Now these are the expected returns as per CAP model. Now we are asked to calculate the difference between actual. Now these are the actual returns on the portfolio, that is 15, 12 and 18. So we have to find the Jensen alpha, that will give us a difference. So actual minus expected. So these are the values for expected: 12.5, 10.5 and 14. And these are the actuals. Okay, so 15 minus 12.5 will give us 2.5 for portfolio 1. For portfolio 2, 12 minus 10.5 will give us 1.5, and for portfolio 3 it is 18 minus 14 will give us 4. So these are the difference between actual return and the expected return for portfolio 1, 2 and 3. So they have told on the basis of your calculation we have to rank them. Okay, now when we are ranking, this is going to be first because the returns is high, this will be second, and this will be third. Okay, so whichever formula you feel easier, you can use out of the three formulas for Jensen's performance index. So if anybody is having any doubt, you can put that in the chat box. Else we will move on to the sixth problem. With the given details, evaluate the performances of different funds using Sharpe trainer techniques. So in this particular problem, you are given with returns, you're given with beta, you're given with standard deviation, and a risk-free rate of return is given, which is uniform for all the four funds, that is A, B, C, and D. So first, as we are asked to calculate these two ratios for Sharpe and trainer, first we will begin with Sharpe. So I hope now students are familiar with this particular formulas of Sharpe, trainer, and Jensen's. Okay. Now in case of Sharpe, we are using standard deviation RP minus RF divided by standard deviation of the portfolio. So 2 minus 4 divided by 20. So this is for fund A, where you're having the negative returns as minus 0.1, because the risk is comparatively very high, and whereas when you see the returns is just 2 here, and the risk-free return is 4. Okay. Next, we are having for fund B, 12 minus 4 divided by 18, that will give you 0.44. Next, for fund C, 8 minus 4 divided by 22, that is 0.18. And for fund D, it is 9 minus 4 divided by 24, which will give us 0.21. So in the problem, they have not asked any comparison or ranking. They've just told to evaluate. So this is the calculation that we have shown. Next, for trainer, we are using beta coefficient. So RP minus RF divided by beta. So we have to consider the beta values. So 2 minus 4 divided by 0.98, that will give us minus 2.04. Then for fund B, 12 minus 4 divided by 0.97, that will give us 8.25. For fund C, 8 minus 4 divided by 1.17, that will give us 3.42. And last, fund D, 9 minus 4 divided by 1.22, that will give us the value as 4.09. So these are the calculations for fund A, B, C, D with regard to Sharpe and trainer. If anybody is having any doubt, you can put that in the chat box. We will move on to the seventh problem. I hope students are following till now what has happened. So in the seventh question, the rates of return for 3 growth-oriented mutual funds for the past 6 years are given below. Okay. So we are having 3 different funds, that is Pearl Fund, Diamond Fund, and Ruby Fund. Now when they have given here treasury bills, it is nothing but the risk-free rate of return, or if they are given government securities, so all these are risk-free rate of return. Okay. Now here we are having return as 16% for Pearl, for Diamond 14, Ruby 13, and this is the risk. Okay. Whenever they give just naming it as risk, it means it is standard deviation. If the risk has to be calculated in terms of beta, then they will clearly give the beta values. Okay, so when it is risk, it means it is standard deviation. Okay, and they have told us rank each fund by Sharpe's index of portfolio performance. So here it is, we have to just put the formula, insert the values, and we have to rank the funds depending upon the highest values will have the ranking first, and then subsequently for the rest of the values. So here RP minus RF divided by standard deviation of P. So for Pearl, RP is 16 minus treasury bills is RF minus 8 divided by 15 is the risk for Pearl fund. So we get the value 0.53. For diamond, 14 minus 8 divided by 17, we get 0.35. For ruby, it is 13 minus 8 divided by 10, we get 0.5. So in this way, we have done the ranking. First is Pearl fund, that is 0.53. Then for ruby, 0.5. And for diamond, it is 0.35. Okay. Next, we will move on to the 8th problem. Now, in this 8th problem, we are given with the question as rank the 3 funds given below with the help of Trainer and Sharpe index. So, we are given with the growth funds of XYZ. We are given with the risk-free rate of return. We are given with the value of beta, standard deviation. And the question is asked, is there any difference in the ranking according to these measures? If so, why? So when we're given with the values of beta as well as standard deviation, then we have to calculate trainer ratio as well as the Sharpe performance index. So we have to write the formula. Sharpe index is RP minus RF divided by risk, that is standard deviation of P. So the return for growth fund of X is 15 minus 9, that is risk-free rate of return, divided by 12. We are going to take the values of standard deviation to calculate Sharpe ratio. So we get the value as 0.5. Next, for growth fund Y, it is 17 minus 9 divided by 14, that is 0.57. Then for growth fund Z, the portfolio return is 13 minus 9 divided by standard deviation 11, which will give us 0.36. So these are the values for Sharpe index. Moving on to next, we have trainer ratio, RP minus RF divided by beta of the portfolio. So we have 15 minus 9. So the numerator values will remain same. Only the denominator values will change because we're using beta and not standard deviation. So the beta is